All right. Sorry if we're a couple minutes late. Welcome to Eddy Live Show. How you guys doing today? Good. How are you today?
I am doing amazing.
All right. Sorry we kept you guys waiting, but we are live from Eddy's Cantina. It's 5:30. Shout out to everybody watching. Bam. Hopefully you're watching, right?
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Hopefully you and all the crew at Tiger Muay Thai. Man, I kept you waiting. I'm so sorry, but we're here. We're going. Yeah. How you doing? How's things?
Things are good.
Yeah?
I am definitely enjoying my summer, even though I was supposed to be in Phuket by now.
I guess, what was the original plan, and how did that change till now?
So last year, Bam and I had discussed basically finally being together, because we've actually been apart for...
It's okay. Just ignore me. I'm good. Yeah.
We've been apart, I think, for going on 3 years, like kind of doing the whole long distance thing.
Okay. How long has he been over there?
I would say almost
3 years?
3 to 4 years now.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, we initially didn't realize, like, we didn't think it'd be this long doing long distance, but as the time went on, like, being at Tiger is the best thing for him. And then I was here in Taiwan just teaching for most of the time, like at an international school.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. I guess we'll probably skip over that. But okay. Well, before we start, how do you do with spicy food usually?
I think I do pretty good. I mean, I grew up in Texas, and I have a lot of Latin friends, and so, I mean, they taught me to eat like jalapenos out of the jar kind of thing.
Okay, beautiful.
I hope
so you're part of the
can
family,
do them proud.
So better than Bam is what you're saying, no?
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, we'll see how we go. All right, so you're a vegetarian, right?
Yes.
So we are going to be doing cauliflower wings, right?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So let's get the first one, and then we'll get into the questions. So we go from this side that way, and you just grab one. I'll grab the other one. Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. So the first one's is just the basic. It's a buffalo wing. Yeah. Okay.
This is a treat because I never get to eat wings.
Well, cheers. Well, now you can have wings. Yeah. You can, even if you're vegetarian, you can have wings at Eddy's Cantina.
Yeah. Come to Eddy's for these. That was good.
Thank you.
Well, definitely no heat there.
It's all right. You know what's funny? When we do the wing show, we always have a pile of like bones, obviously, and I'm always like, okay, wait, there's no bones. Yeah. I had a good friend of mine, Ed. He's like super vegan chef guy, and when we were talking about, we did the show with him. He creates like these like vegan foods that like taste like meat, but they're like pure like vegan and stuff. And he made wings for the show, and when we were talking about it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be boneless, right? And I was just like, oh my God, I asked like the dumbest questions, and it was so embarrassing. It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But before we really get into it, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Maria Morris. I am a martial artist and aspiring to become a professional very soon, hopefully. And currently I just am in Taiwan teaching online and also training basically full time. Okay. So that's what I've been doing.
So you recently decided you're just going to go for it. You're just going to dive in, kind of drop the 9 to 5 and just give it a shot. Just be like, okay, I'm going full time. So what kind of brought that on? I mean, how long were you thinking about doing that?
I don't think that's been too long that I've actually like had this idea of like, oh, I could do this professionally.
Okay.
But about, I think it was 2 years ago, I went to one of the WOTD fights.
Okay. Yep.
And I was with Bam, of course, and we were there to watch the fights and hang out with some of his friends there. And I saw Wu Chaozhen fight. Yeah. And I was so inspired by her.
Shout out to her. We love her here.
Yes, we love you.
We love you, yeah.
But I think I had always wanted to do something with sports. Okay. And in college, I played college basketball and college soccer. Okay. And like all the sports possible.
So you're like pretty athletic back home in college growing up and stuff through the sports. Okay, great. So very cool.
I really missed it, and I was really disappointed after college because I was like, oh, it's over. I won't be able to compete again.
No more sports. Oh, yes, sure.
And since then, I've kind of just not been quite sure what to do, and it's kind of sad, but I think that the saying like those who don't do teach.
Okay,
slightly applied to me because I just didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, well, I think how long have you been back here to Taiwan?
I've been here almost 5 years now.
Okay, I think also when people come, I think teaching in that is always, it's like a good foot in the door. And I taught, like most of the people that I know that are maybe they're doing something else now, they all started teaching. And I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you're teaching, but actually I think I had a good time. I liked it. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, I like teaching. I do love teaching at certain moments, especially.
Sure, of course. Every job is going to be like, there's going to be certain times it's going to be tough for sure.
But I've learned a lot. The students are so sweet, and I don't think I would have made it as a teacher in the States. Okay. But in Taiwan, the students are amazing. Okay. And they're really nice and respectful, and cool. A lot of them are super caring, and I've gotten like surprised at how like wonderful it was to be a teacher here. Okay. So I would definitely say I enjoyed that part of my experience here.
Would you ever do any kind of coaching, like sports coaching as well, or
I would love to.
Would you like to do something like that?
I would love to teach fitness classes or even like martial arts classes when I feel like I'm at a level where I can properly teach people. Okay. But I love that. I like teaching people, and I like seeing people improve and progress and get better. I know that you're pretty connected in the scene here, right? Like with all the people around town and all the gyms, and it's starting to come back slowly, right? I think events have started. Anymore. I think it's just like full
it's
force.
back on, right? So I was doing some research, and you were doing some kind of a. I have it here. You did a martial arts tournament recently, right? I think it was a Muay Thai tournament, right?
It was the Taiwan National Muay Thai competition that they do every year.
Okay, and you that just passed like about a month ago, or?
Yeah, about a month ago.
Okay, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about that. You can eat your wing though, and
right, I'm trying to finish.
No problem. But anyway, before we do, I want to cheers you. Anyways, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I really wanted to get you.
Honored to be here.
I really wanted to get you before. Before you went to Thailand, because I don't know when you're going to come back, so yeah.
Well,
cheers.
Thanks
you.
Corona for keeping me in Taiwan.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so the Muay Thai competition.
Yeah.
It's funny because I really had expected, like I had envisioned my summer being in Thailand, like training hard. And when that kind of fell through, I felt a little lost because I'm like, what am I going to do?
Did you decide to stop the teaching and all that before?
Yeah, so we had planned this since last August.
Okay.
So I had had all the plans in place to leave Taiwan at the end of March and kind of move over to Thailand more permanently, or at least for a while, to see what happened.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then, of course, Corona, and I'm sure everyone in the world had their plans disrupted. Everyone's
plans got messed up a little bit. We actually wanted to go back this summer. It's been a few years, but yeah, it's not going to happen. So maybe next year, who knows, right? Yeah.
Got to make the best out of the situation.
Exactly,
so then I just started training here, and I heard about the competition. Okay. And I decided, why not? If I can compete right now and just get as much experience as possible.
Sure,
then,
of course.
That's definitely a plus. So
yeah. And how did it go?
It went really well. I had an MMA competition at the beginning of this year with WOTD, and I lost that one to an armbar. Okay. Which was really it really opened my eyes to what I need to work on. And
well, that's how we learn, right?
Yeah, exactly. So losses are good, I think.
Yeah, sure. For sure they are.
It was a really good learning experience. Okay. And before that, I had been working full time, even putting in almost 10-hour days at some point, on some days with my school, because I had.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I made a plan with them that if I taught all my classes in 3 quarters versus 4, then I could leave that last quarter. So school doesn't end till June, so they were going to let me leave at the end of March. Which was going to help me out, give me more time.
Which is great, of course. Yeah. Sure. And they were okay with that.
Yeah, but I had to work overtime basically the first 3 quarters. Oh, wow. And I was still trying to train. And when that competition came up, I don't think I didn't have much time to put into training or practice. Okay. And my heart and everything just didn't feel great.
That's so tough. Yeah. I think when you're doing something part-time and then you're doing it that's your full-time thing, I think the mindset's going to be pretty different. Yeah. For sure. we've been doing the restaurant for so long, and I used to coach soccer, and I've been coaching it pretty much my whole life. And I still help coaching right now, give you a chance to finish your wing. I still help it now. And But it's very different than when you're doing it. That's your full-time main gig, or when it's, you know, kind of your side gig. And yeah, I think. How are you feeling now, though, that you've totally 100% you're into this? You're teaching still, right?
Yeah, I do that in the I do it for about an hour in the morning and a 2.5 in the evening. So it's more like a side job.
Okay.
And
so they switched. Before, fighting was the side gig and teaching was the main gig.
Yeah, so now it's switched for sure.
Now it's switched and teaching is the side job. Okay.
Ironically, though, I almost make close to the same amount I was making
gosh.
at school.
Ooh,
so
we're not going to mention.
I was like,
we're not going to mention.
I should have done this earlier.
You know what? I mean, I've been here for a long time, and I taught at the beginning, and yeah, the first couple years, you don't really. I think you don't really know. I mean, I'm not going to mention any schools' names, but you don't really know. And I would be, you know, contracted to be at the school from like 8 to like 6.
Yeah.
But I would be maybe paid like 6 hours or something like that. I don't know if that still happens now.
It does.
That's sad that it does, because I've been here about 18 years. And if it still happens now, that's kind of sad and disappointing. But yeah, I did that. And then I switched over to part-time on my 3rd year, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm almost making the same, and I'm doing like half the work. What's going? So it's a good thing. It's a good thing to figure out eventually.
It is, and I honestly didn't do it earlier because I was too scared to. Because I think everyone to give up your full-time job is a scary thing, and you're
very scary.
Can I make it without having a full-time job?
Yeah. So what was like the straw that broke the camel's back, like on how you're like, that's it, I'm just gonna do it?
Really just came down to Bam and I being together in one place.
Okay, sure.
So I was trying to figure out how I can make that happen, because his team is Tiger
Muay Thai. Shout out to them for sure.
They're amazing.
Yeah, of course.
And I was trying to figure out how can we be in Thailand and I still kind of be able to maintain what I make right now.
Okay.
And my friend that I had teaching at the same school, she joined this online English program or teaching program.
I've heard so many good
Kids.
things about that. Yeah, and it's good.
Yeah, and I really enjoy it. The kids are super sweet. We basically just teach kids in China. Okay. And it goes I teach some 3-year-olds up to 12, 13-year-olds.
Is it like one-on-one, or is it
it's
class?
It's one-on-one.
Okay.
So each class is 25 minutes, but.
How flexible are the hours for that?
The crazy thing is you set your own hours completely.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You open up your schedule however many things you want, however many time periods you want during the week.
Okay. That's pretty amazing. So, good move. Congratulations,
I'm really
and you're happy,
it.
Yeah? So is there any word on when Thailand, I guess nobody knows, any word on when possibly you could get over to Thailand?
No, there's not really any
deadline.
news on they don't have even any type of maybe in 2 months.
Maybe in a month, maybe 2 months. So it's just kind of like
you
teach
just
and
check
train.
the news every day and nope, not today.
Teach and train. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess everyone's kind of in limbo right now too.
Yeah, it's the weirdest time in history. I
think it is. Right? It's a weird time to be alive. Right? Yeah, it's crazy.
And whoever thought that we wouldn't be able to just hop on a plane and go anywhere we wanted to in the world.
It's kind of weird, right? Yeah.
So strange.
Let's grab the next one, yeah?
All right.
And we'll keep going, yeah? So the next one is chipotle, yeah? Let's like our chipotle, honey chipotle.
Okay.
So you grab whatever you want.
I like this one.
Big one, small one, whatever. All right.
The small one.
Oh, thank you very much. Enjoy.
All
Cheers.
right, let's see.
Yeah. First round is pretty chill, and then it gets a little spicier second round.
Okay. Definitely tastes a little bit.
Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What we try to do with these is we try to make it so vegetarians, actually these are vegan friendly as well. Vegans, vegetarians can come out and have wings and beer with their buddy. So there's a lot of places that it's not possible. And so we're trying to be like, let's step it up and make sure, everyone can come out and everyone has
everyone's included.
Everyone's included, right? I'm not like, I eat meat, but I enjoy these too. We actually have a lot of people that are meat eaters that actually come for these because they're like, we love your wings, but we actually like these more. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So now that you're full-time training, how has your life changed?
It's completely different. My schedule is different. I wake up and I feel excited.
Okay.
To
nice.
get up and train and go learn something new today.
Okay.
Work on my skills as a martial artist. And I was always searching for that like one thing that I felt like I could wake
like
up
calling,
for
right?
free. You know, like
Okay.
you would get up and you would do it
You
for
would do
free.
it for free. Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like you want your work hopefully to be that way. And I never
yeah.
found it in college or post college really. And I feel like this is the one thing that I've always done, like being involved
Yeah.
in sports, now
Yeah.
martial arts, that I just don't give up. And so I figured, why not try it and see how far I can go, because I love competing and I'll do
Yeah.
it as long as I possibly can.
I think when you're mentioning free, I think a lot of people, I mean, can go like their whole life and they don't get that one thing that they love. And so for you to get that at you know, your pretty young age, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. I think you give it a shot. I mean, what I always think is you know, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
You know, when we started this has been going like almost 15 years. And at the beginning, we were totally like scared, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna be broke for so long," and we were for a long time. But we thought, you know, eventually we were like, "Well, what's the worst that can happen?" I mean, you fail, you lose some money, maybe go teach again or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the worst.
That
I mean,
literally-
that's actually not that bad, right?
That thought has been in my mind. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
if
like-
all else fails.
Yeah, it's not that bad actually, right?
No.
I mean, I have a lot of friends that are still doing the teaching, and they're fine. I mean, it's the job, they like it, the pay's pretty good usually, right?
Yeah.
But you're kind of like, you've got the online thing going, that's pretty cool. That wasn't available before when I was doing it, so that's kind of a cool thing. It's a cool
Yeah.
option. Yeah.
I've actually even, in case you guys didn't know, Bam
Sure.
Morris is my husband.
Sure, of course. I'm sorry, Bam. I didn't introduce you, my man.
Whenever
Sorry.
I fight, I
Sorry
always
about
hear that in
yeah?
the back. They're like, "This is Maria Morris."
Yeah.
Bam,
Well, I didn't.
Morris
I
is
didn't want
her
to say
husband.
that because I didn't want to say that. I purposely made sure that I didn't say that.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I'm
It's
proud to
showcasing
be-
you,
to
not
be
Bam.
his
We love
wife.
Bam. We love Bam. Yeah. Okay.
But his sister actually and I were just talking, and we were
Okay.
we were brainstorming because she's into real estate now.
Okay.
And
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm also we're thinking about getting into that, like maybe buying a house,
Beautiful.
renting it out in the States, you know,
Okay.
trying to diversify our income.
the
so
portfolio. Yeah.
yes,
Sure.
trying to gain assets is the goal right now, so we can train
good
and not
move,
have to
yeah.
worry about like, you know. I think if you want something, like if you want to make this, like for me, I want to make it happen. There's always a way. You can find some way of making it a possibility. So
So
I'm
how are
excited
you
about
feeling
that,
now
too.
with like now as compared to like the 9 to 5? You're saying you're feeling better. You're loving it.
I wish I'd done it sooner, and I
wish
just
you'd done
keep
it
thinking
sooner.
about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish I had the guts to just like,
Yeah.
maybe a year or two
It's a
ago.
tough thing to
just
do.
do
It's
it.
a very tough thing to
Yeah.
do, to just stop. Like also when we started this, we're like, okay, my wife stopped completely. I still did some part-time stuff. Then a couple years in, we just stopped, and we were like, all right, we'll just live on beans and rice until we start to make some money. And it was definitely it was a little tough at the beginning,
Yeah.
but I think
We're used to that, Bam
yeah,
and I.
just hustle. You just gotta hustle.
We
and-
have been hustling
Yeah.
for a while. Like
Yeah.
we've had times where that we couldn't even afford the groceries for the week.
Okay. Okay.
So we've been hustling for a little bit,
Yeah,
for a little
I'm-
time.
okay,
And my last
okay.
job, I even accepted living on top of our school,
Okay.
and it was a kind of like a benefit
Okay.
into like gaining some extra income.
Sure. Yeah.
And
yeah.
so I accepted the offer.
Yeah.
And the place that I lived in did not have a bathroom. And
Oh,
I had to
okay.
share the bathroom that was actually part of the school. So like every faculty and like some students
wow.
would use that same bathroom.
Okay,
So for like 2 years straight, like I lived basically in like this converted storage place on top of our school.
Oh my God! But I really think that makes for a good story.
It
Like
does.
when you get there, you know, nobody wants to hear about the guy that just, you know, or the girl that everybody just gave him everything, and then, you know, he made it or he got rich, and nobody wants to hear about it. Everyone wants to hear about, like, you know, that Jeff Bezos guy was like packing books up in his mom's garage, you know, and now he's like, you know, king of the world or whatever, right? I think I also builds character. I think so.
I do.
Yeah,
It does,
yeah,
and it gets
yeah.
you stronger. And
Yeah.
if you get it easy, you don't appreciate it as much.
I agree. I agree.
struggle
yeah.
and the journey
It becomes
is-
normal, right? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
Ingai, they should just give that to me because it's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful. Let's grab the next one, yeah?
All right.
All right.
It's
so
not
this
too
one,
bad.
It's not bad. The first round is chill, right? The second round's a little spicier.
Okay.
So this is like our only like kind of fusion-y one. This is our Korean style one. Yeah.
Oh, the Korean
So,
one.
yeah,
I feel like
Korean
that's
style.
gonna be
Yeah.
hot.
yeah, it's the Korean. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You save days for the second round.
Yeah, for sure. That was just so hot because we're moving tomorrow and packing, and I got stuck at Zhonghua Telecom, and it's just like, oh my gosh, just overwhelmed. Moving is just overwhelmed. I hate doing it, but it'll be nice in the end. Yeah, it'll be nice in the end.
I think moving in Taiwan though is still easier than it is.
Oh, for
in other
sure it
places.
is. For sure it is. Yeah.
Oh my
No,
word.
Taiwan, I think in general is I don't want to say easier, but everything's so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
People are nice. I mean, you can get some good food, good people. Taipei's it's a city, but it's kind of like a compact city. I don't know. I think it's great. I love it here. I've been here a long time. Yeah. Well, how does Bangkok compare? I mean, you've been there
I've
many
actually never
times.
been
Right?
to
You never
Bangkok.
been? Okay.
Only Phuket.
Oh, it's Phuket, right? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How far is it from Bangkok?
I fly from Bangkok to Phuket. It's about an hour and a half flight.
So you've done some training with BAM and Tiger Muay Thai, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last summer I got to go there and train for about 2 months.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Maybe
I
you could
loved
tell
it.
us a little bit about that. I think there was a couple of fighters, like UFC fighters and stuff, were there.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I got to sit down by the
How
cage
crazy
and watch
is that?
Valentina Shevchenko
Oh my
train.
gosh,
and I
love
was like,
Valentina.
oh, like I'm so close to her. And like just other there's a bunch of really amazing ONE FC fighters. Killer B was there. Just a bunch of really strong and powerful women that fight, and I was just so inspired by them, getting to see them and how they train and live. And that's also kind of what inspired me to quit my job, because I'm if I want to do this, and seeing how they train, and their whole life is you get up and train, you eat, sleep, train, and just kind of go through that cycle.
Yeah, sure. Valentina's a
Yeah,
killer.
she's crazy. She
in
spars
real
for
life.
hours.
In real life, she must be just a machine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guy, she was killing the guys her size there, so
Really,
very
yeah.
impressive.
She's the first time I saw her fight, I was like, wow, she's really good. And then she grabs the mic and she starts speaking perfect Spanish, and I was just like, whoa, her Spanish is fantastic. I was kind of blown away, and
Yeah.
I guess she spent some time in Peru, something like that. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Overall, I think she's just a very talented person.
Yeah, and then she does her
And the
little spinning
dancing.
dance at the end, and you're just like, wow, that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Oh, but I never actually answered the Muay Thai question.
Yes,
but-
please.
So this time around, I felt like I was more prepared. I was training CrossFit. I was hitting the Muay Thai classes every day, and
This was here, you say? Or
yeah,
that
here,
was in okay.
here in Taipei.
Sorry,
and I was
yeah.
training at King Box, and I felt like
Okay.
my cardio.
Shout out to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to King Box. yeah.
Come spar with me Saturday. It's for my
Okay, come and
birthday.
spar. If she's pissing you off, come spar with her this Saturday, right?
6 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm looking
6
for
p.m.
sparring
She's looking for
partners.
partners. Yeah, she keeps knocking them all out, so she needs more.
But
Okay.
yeah, training there, it was a Muay Thai competition, so
Okay.
I got to train more authentic Muay Thai because there's an actual a Thai style gym.
Okay.
They do it outside in the heat.
In the heat, wow,
I was
okay.
training at 3:30 every day, and it felt like a sauna.
Yeah. Well, wow. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Yeah.
So I
okay,
was training
okay.
like that, so it felt like more like I was really in Thailand training, and all the trainers are Thai trainers, and they hold the mitts and the pads for you every day.
Okay.
So I really
Okay.
felt like I was improving, and I was able to add CrossFit in, which gave me the strength and conditioning.
That's one of my questions. Yeah. I mean, how did it feel adding CrossFit into the mix?
In all my fights, I wasn't tired at all,
Okay.
which surprised me because usually in my fights I feel exhausted.
Okay.
After the first round, I'm feel really drained. But
Okay,
this time
sure, of
around, I
course,
didn't.
yeah.
By the third round, it was also shortened because there was a lot of girls fighting, a lot of people fighting.
How many times did you have to fight in
Only
a day?
twice.
In
Once
a day?
a day.
Once a day. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually ended up fighting Wu Chao Zhen, and we got lucky, and we both drew they draw on the day to see who you fight, and
Okay.
we both didn't have to fight until the end of both days. So
Okay.
it was really
okay,
nice.
Okay. So you got to stick around and watch everybody.
Yeah, we got to see all
if
our
I fight
opponents
this guy,
first.
maybe I'll do that. Okay. Okay.
So
you
that
got
was
to
really
do your own
nice.
scouting. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
so we both won, and we ended up facing each other, and
Okay.
we were representing iFighting, which is
Oh,
another amazing
eye
gym.
fighting, man. Camp. We
Camp,
love them.
we love Camp.
We love Camp. Everybody loves
Super
Camp.
nice.
Hashtag best hair in MMA. That's
and
Camp.
his son.
Yeah. Oh, his son too. His son is
Camp's
He's so cute.
Kemp's
man.
mini me is amazing.
Yeah, he's super cute. Yeah, Kemp actually lives not too far, so we get to see him a lot. Yeah,
Okay, that's awesome.
He's a good guy, and his son is so cute. His wife is super sweet as well.
Yeah.
Great people. Yeah.
And well, basically back to the Muay Thai
Yeah,
fight.
sure.
We fought on the second day. We fought in the championships and pulled out the win just by a little bit.
Okay.
And
I was so disappointed that I didn't no people couldn't even go watch, right? I mean, but I know the whole COVID, so you're not really allowed to watch. But
yeah. But
so you snuck the win out. You were saying before I
did.
cut you off. Sorry. Yeah.
But I was training Muay Thai every day, and I feel like to fight Muay Thai, you just have to be like kind of very focused on that because it's a different rule set than anything else. And like when you're fighting against any other martial arts, you kind of have to be focused on that.
Okay.
And I was able to. My coaches were still saying that like it was a little messy, but I saw that I improved on my kicks and like teeping. And
Was there any kind of recording or anything like that?
Yeah, it's on. I have the recordings.
Okay.
I even was able to do some clenching, which I've never done before, and like a throw. So that was awesome.
Okay, that's cool. Did Bam give you any tips on that? Did he check out the recordings?
He's always he calls me before every match or tries to like talk me through the like day, like hype me up and.
That's awesome.
Super
He's such a great guy too. I love that guy. He's a great guy. Yeah. Hopefully you'll get to go out there. Hopefully he'll get to come out here sometime. Yeah.
I hope so.
That'd be nice. Do you guys, when you go, is that it? Are you guys going to come back here?
I think we want to be back and forth. Like, we love Taiwan. We love Thailand.
Yeah. I have to say I love Thai food, so the food must be incredible. And Thailand is it's like for me. It reminds me a lot of Mexico. You know, people are really chill. It's hot, spicy, sour. You know, like it's like for me like an Asian sort of Mexico. I love it. I love it
too. But then when I go to Thailand after a week, I'm like, oh, my tea and like
of course,
the Taiwanese food. Like I miss it so much.
It's always the grass is greener, right? You're like, oh, I finally just lived there, and you get there and it's like, you know, curries and stuff all the time. And I don't know. I don't know. I eat a lot of Thai food here. The first time I went was funny because I was with a couple buddies. And we met some of their friends, and they're like, we're going to take you to a really good Thai restaurant. I said, okay, cool. So you get in there, and they're like, what do you like? And I'm like, well, I don't know that much about Thai food. And they're like, well, what do you eat when you go to a Thai restaurant? And I'm like, well, I don't know, those like shrimp pancakes. And then they're just like, that's not Thai food. And I'm like, and then I mentioned like two or three things that I get when I eat here. And they're like, yeah, that's not Thai food. I'm like, ooh, okay, just bring whatever. I'm good, you know. Yeah. It was so funny. Yeah, it's embarrassing, but it's pretty funny though.
It's kind of like the whole time, like the Chinese food in the States.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, what is it, General Chow's chicken?
Yes, General, like the orange chicken the fried noodles are like the two like things that people associate Chinese food with.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's super funny.
So sad.
I remember it is. But I think we were talking about. Let's grab that last one. And we'll get on the second wing here.
Keep getting the small one.
Yeah, all right.
This is actually dinner for me.
Okay, we'll get the big one then. Yeah.
I haven't eaten since breakfast.
Okay, we'll get the big one then. What kind of diet do you have to do for when you're like? Is it in camp? Is it out of camp? Is there a diet?
Shout out to Scarlett Harvey. She is a girl I met in Tiger last year, and she actually just helped me create a meal plan because I've never followed any type of like nutritional plan, and I noticed I've been training close to 3 times a day. Like I'll do strength and conditioning, Muay Thai, and then BJJ.
Okay.
And
round 2 is okay.
I was noticing my body starting to not react well because I wasn't putting in the right amount of fuel and just things like that. So I asked her for some help, and she gave me this plan that I need to implement like this week. Okay. I started a little bit, but I gotta go back
she's doing it this week.
I know. She just asked me to. I'm on it.
While we have a margarita and some wings.
I think she's watching, so.
Yeah.
Sorry about this.
Yeah, that's my fault. I wanted to get her before she went to Thailand because we don't know when we're going to see her again.
But basically, I eat pretty clean. I think like veggie food.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of vegetables. Like it'll be like steamed brown rice or purple rice.
Okay. Wow. I like that. Okay.
Vegan protein shakes.
Okay.
And that's about it. Like I eat basically like a vegetarian diet. Okay. But I don't eat as much carbs. I think like maybe other people would eat. Okay. I try to limit the rice and noodles a little bit.
How often have you, or sorry, how long have you been like vegetarian?
I've been vegetarian my whole life.
Really? Okay. It's like
never
you came out. You're like not interested. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah. As a vegetarian, is it harder? I guess. I mean, you can't compare, but is it harder to get protein, or what's like a vegetarian kind of protein? Is it like beans, or what do you do for protein as a vegetarian? Because you're a fighter, right? It's doable for sure. I mean, you see like Nate Diaz. There's a lot of vegetarian fighters.
So peanut butter is a staple.
Oh, really? Okay.
Peanut butter.
Oh my gosh,
actually
I never
is a
even
staple.
thought of that. Okay. Just like.
Sometimes I do. I just like eat it out
I
of
love
the
that.
jar. Like if I'm starving, I'll have it.
Just like peanut butter. Just grab a butter knife and scoop it out, right? Okay.
When I was cutting for that Muay Thai fight, because I actually had to cut weight.
Okay.
Because I was getting heavier because of the strength training.
And muscle. Yeah,
which is
muscle's
good.
heavier than fat for
But
sure.
when I had to weight cut, I would wake up or be really late at night, and I'd just go and like grab like a spoon of peanut butter and like just like eat it. Because I wasn't eating that much during the day.
Okay.
Like I'd have eggs in the morning, maybe another egg, and then like a vegetable broth kind of thing in the night.
Carbs usually the more filling things, right? So
I would eat a little carbs, yeah. No,
if you're going,
protein's the filling thing.
Protein's the filling thing. Okay. I feel when I eat, like let's say I'm having chicken and like a chicken and some salad if I'm dieting or whatever, I don't feel that full. But I mean, sometimes when I eat carbs, I'm like over full. I feel like you almost eat like the food coma. I think comes from, I don't know. This is not scientific or anything, but I feel it with my body.
I would agree.
If I have pizza or something, I'm like, oh, this is so good. But after that, I'm just like, oh, I'm just laying there. I'm like, I ate too much, and it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I was doing the weight cutting, like pretty much cutting out most carbs.
Okay.
Even though I wasn't eating as much, I wasn't feeling as tired.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that's what I've heard that, and I've also felt that. Yeah, I've had the carbs, and yeah, like it's funny. I had this conversation with one of my good friends who's also a customer, and we're talking about, like people, back in the day, they like way back, people were hunting, and they'd go out and they'd hunt and they'd gather their meat and this and that, and now like a guy will just like eat too much and he's just like, oh, it's just like, it's so bad.
I totally feel like
it's so bad.
I feel that after like noodles, like a noodle dish especially.
Yeah.
I'm like about to pass out. But
do you have any like sort of cheat foods that you're like you just love that you can't cut out, or you just
tea is my
like milk tea?
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
I don't do milk tea anymore.
You don't milk tea? Okay.
I don't even know if it's a bad thing. Like I do passion fruit green tea.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
But every
though.
day.
That's good stuff though. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I do like 3. Like if I'm not fighting, then I'll do like like the 3/4 sugar.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And then when I'm fighting, I just say no sugar.
Take out the sugar. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I think it might be a little easier for me because that's what the diet I keep to like fight is generally the same diet I have most of my life.
So do you have to cut a lot of weight then, or not really? Usually.
Right now it depends on like what weight class. So I think
so usually you fight at like straw.
I would like to
straw weight?
fight at that weight. I haven't actually had a chance to fight at that weight
so it's
yet.
like flyweight more then.
So yeah, I mean the last couple of competitions I've been at flyweight for sure.
Okay.
But I know I can cut lower. Like my very first amateur Muay Thai event at an in-house gym competition.
Sure.
I cut to 51.9, I think.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So that was low, and it took about a month of really controlled eating to get to that point.
So there's the big debate. Like, do you feel if you cut to a lower class, do you feel like you're going to be bigger and stronger, or do you feel like depleted, or how do you feel if you're cutting
I don't have a comparison because my very first fight was just awful. Like I didn't have technique. I was just like
everyone's
throwing
first
haymakers and just going full force the whole 3 minutes or whatever. I think it was 2 minutes. But yeah, that fight, I know it was just bad, so I can't compare it to any other fights because I haven't fought at that weight class since.
Okay.
But I think for MMA, I would like to go down to that. So I've signed up for the WOT fights. Hopefully.
Ooh, when is that? When are those coming?
Fight.
Yeah.
September 13th.
Okay, so you actually, the first time I saw you fight was one of the WOTD fights, and that was your second one.
The one you
was
saw
that the
was
first
my
one?
first
That was the
one.
first one, right? That was good. That was great. Yeah, that was good. I saw you warming up in the corner, and I never see you fight. And then I saw the girl who you were fighting, and she looked like Joanna, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's fighting Joanna. Oh my gosh, I knew it wasn't her, but I just thought, oh my gosh, it's gonna be tough.
Was 60
she was like really like long. She looked really long.
Me,
sure. She looked bigger and longer. And then I think you knocked her out in the first round, right?
Yeah, it was
amazing.
A first round KO, like liver shots.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, my daughter was with me there, and she was like, she was talking about you. She loved it. She was pretty amazing. My daughter watches UFC with me a lot, so it's pretty. The funny thing is that when we brought her to the WOTD, I wasn't telling her WOTD because she wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, we're gonna go watch UFC. We're gonna go watch UFC, and she was so excited. And then when we got there, she's just like, "Where's the lights? Where's the music? I'm like, hey, this is." She's a little bit smaller. I'm like, it's a little bit smaller.
She knows
but
her
still,
UFC.
yeah, she's like, where's like the Bruce Buffer guy? And I'm like, he's not here. He's taking a break today. So we're just gonna do it like chill for now. Yeah. So it's pretty funny, really funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw her rolling. She's gonna be. I think she's gonna be a really awesome fighter one day.
We actually, she's been rolling with a couple different crews. She rolls with Matt Bateman and David Way, who's these guys are both pretty high level guys.
Yeah,
They do like
I've met them
no-gi.
before.
Yeah, they do they do no-gi twice a week. And last week we just started. A friend of mine has a school nearby, and he wasn't doing kids for a while, and he just started a kids class. And it's Antoine Fairs. I don't know if you met him, and he just started a kids class, and so she started that. And his class it's like more MMA, which is cool because she's like So she's
amazing.
Pretty excited.
Can't wait to see her fight.
Yes, me too. And the funny thing was, after he's been trying to get me to go, but his classes are like in the evening, right? And I'm always stuck here. But so last week, 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Hey, we got an adult class right after," and I'm like, "Next week I will come." So last week I went to my first BJJ class,
very nice.
and my rib is still sore. I was sparring with Roger, a friend of mine, Roger Dunkley, and I was on top and. I always think about UFC when I'm sparring. It's so bad because they actually know what they're doing. But he was kind of taking my back, and I remember when Anthony Pettis was someone was taking his back, he would just kind of spin and he'd be like on top, right? So I did that, and he like squeezed, and it like totally like squeezed my ribs in, and I was like, oh my god, it was so painful. But I still finished the class and I kept fighting, and then like the next day I was like, oh wow, that hurts a lot now. So It's almost been a week. No, it's tomorrow will be a week. It still hurts. It's getting better. So luckily we're moving for a couple of days, and then next week I'll go back and try it out again.
All right, I feel it. Like last Friday, I was rolling at Taiwan BJJ, which is where I train BJJ right now.
Okay.
And I was rolling with a couple people, and you just don't really notice when you're rolling like any little injuries that occur. And after it was done, I was touching my hand because I felt something here, and I couldn't touch it because it was so painful. And I was like, oh no, like did I like break it or something?
Yeah.
And luckily in Taiwan, you can just hop over to the clinic and be like,
for
can
sure.
you x-ray this and let me know if it's broken?
Yeah.
Because I was planning on doing Muay Thai, and I was like, I didn't want to hurt it more.
Yeah, of course, if it's broken. Yeah.
So I was like, I really want to train tomorrow, so I just need to know, like, is it broken or fractured or whatever? Because it's like super painful to even touch.
Ouch, yeah.
And luckily they were able to x-ray in 5 minutes, and they gave me like 3 treatments, like right there of like electroshock. They did like radiation.
Okay.
They did some type of like electric gel thing on my hand that made it completely feel better. So I was like, wow.
That's amazing. Wow, yeah, because I mean, I was still like, okay, if it still hurts after 1 week, I'll go in. It still hurts a bit, but we'll see. Tomorrow, we'll see how it goes. But I'm moving for 2 days, and I'm going to be like, it was really crazy because I felt it during, but then I was like, that was right at the beginning. I'm like, I'm not going to stop. It just kept going, and then I forgot about it. And then I, go home, take a shower, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. It hurts when I breathe. What's going on?
Not until after you're
Did
like,
I break
a
rib? Did I break a rib? Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, that's awesome that you started.
Yeah, I've been wanting to start for a long time, and then, it's hard to get out of Tianmu, but if in Tianmu, so that's why.
And then you and Aliyah can talk about the moves, and
she loves it, and it's funny. Some of the things, we're doing like free sparring or like rolling and stuff, and some of the things were that she learned, from Matt and David, because I mean it was like literally my first day, and I was rolling, and I was like using some of the little tricks. I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't able to implement them very well, but I was at least not lost. I was like, okay, I kind of know a little bit. Yeah.
I still feel lost. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm rolling, but
Okay, thank you. All right, so round 2 is here.
Ooh.
We're gonna start from this side. That one is with jalapeno, so it gets a little hotter. Yeah,
I love jalapenos.
Perfect. Well,
Eat
enjoy. They look bigger too, so that's perfect. Yeah, it's dinner time, right?
It sure is.
Yes.
Yeah, I did BJJ at lunch, so after lunch I was trying to get at least look decent because I'm always sweaty and training all day long.
Okay, sure.
Even
Well, you look
when
fantastic
I teach,
today.
thank you.
Yeah.
When I teach, the kids probably like, why does she Why does she look like she just came out of the shower or something? But
that's awesome.
It's nice to live in like sweats and like
for sure.
Workout clothes.
For sure it is, yeah. Ooh, these are hot.
A little bit.
So are there a lot of like local tournaments? I know everything stopped for a while.
Yeah, there's so many.
There's a lot, yeah.
Like last weekend, there were Muay Thai fights from my Muay Thai gym, King Box. They had some pretty big ones. I had Killer Bee. Shout out to her. She fights in 1FC, and she
gotta get her on the show. Yeah, I love Killer Bee. Yeah.
And a couple of other fighters that fought like in Thailand also like kind of had like showcase fights. So that was awesome. And there's also going to be a Sonda tournament this next weekend. Or this coming weekend.
Sure. Okay.
That I believe Jenny Huang and
okay.
And I think is Wu Chaozhen fighting? I don't think she is. No, not in this one. But I know Jenny Huang is fighting in these ones. And so some of my other friends are.
Okay, beauty. Yeah.
And there's actually I just saw a BJJ tournament at the Bears Den coming up.
Okay, yeah, shout out to the Bears Den. Yeah.
Adults, so I was thinking about doing that.
I think they recently expanded, right? Like they recently opened like a really big gym, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been following those guys for Dimitri.
I can't wait to go down and like see it.
Yeah,
and,
you should check it out. There. Yeah, I'd love to go check it out as well.
So I was like, maybe I'll sign up for this competition and like make my way down there to finally
you totally
be there.
should. You totally should, yeah.
Alaya could too.
I would like that actually. Yeah. So I think right now she's doing no-gi with Matt and Dave, and then with Antoine she's going to be doing they're ordering gis. So if she could do both of those, that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, I think. I mean,
ooh, I feel this
you're
one.
Getting it right. I was like, what? You're not feeling anything? Wow. Okay. Yeah, this one's spicier
this one
for sure. Yeah. So this one is made with fresh jalapenos. So occasionally we're able to get like a big batch of fresh jalapenos, and the really big ones we make poppers out of them, and the small ones we make this sauce.
It's like the heat like goes in your face. It's
coming up. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it seems like you have a good relationship with most of the fighters, like Wu Chaozhen, Mr. Red, and everybody. Like how does that work out? I mean, how do you meet them? Just training with them, or?
I think the scene is. It's not that big, so I've gone around to a lot of different gyms, and I kind of just like to mix in different places and see what I can learn from all the different spots.
Okay.
So each spot has its. I've learned a lot from all the different places I've trained at.
Yeah.
And
of course, yeah.
Just meeting all the people there and forming relationships is, I think, one of my favorite parts of martial arts. You meet some of the most amazing people, and they're called fighters, but like I feel like most people are just like the nicest people you're ever gonna meet.
I found that the fighters are like the most like mellow,
sweet, and just
sweet,
like
humble,
chill
people. It's crazy because you grow up and you see people fighting, and they're just like the puff out the chest kind of crazy guys, but like actual real fighters are like the most mellow, chill people, and you're just like, wow, okay. Like the first time, like Bam, when I met Bam, I was just like, oh, because I've seen it fight. I'm like, he's a beast, right? And he was just like so like joking, and he was just such a great guy. Shout out to him, man. What's up, brother? You got to come back and visit sometime. Get you back on the show. Have some more spicy wings.
Do you even feel like the spice for these?
I do. This one for sure. There's a couple that I do, and this is one that I do for sure.
It's the jalapenos.
The jalapenos, yeah.
Really kick it.
Yeah, so they're tough, definitely, yeah. So, have you ever had to fight like a friend, or because we were just talking about Bam, and it wasn't possible for him to fight because he was going to have to possibly fight one of his friends or his like camp mates, right? So has it ever happened to where you would have to do that, or how would you feel about fighting a friend or like a training partner?
It's definitely different. Like, it's not
like
for
recently,
me. It's not desired. Like, I don't want to fight my friends.
Yeah. Do you have to get in a certain mindset before you fight somebody?
Like
do you have to hate these people, or how does it feel?
No, you don't have to hate them or even be like angry at them. Like when I fought Wu Chaozhen, we both were technically on the same team, and she's like the nicest person ever.
I know, yeah.
But you do have to get yourself into a mindset and kind of separate. So like for me, we were both like under eye fighting for that competition.
Okay.
And then we ended up both facing each other. So we kind of just like went our own separate ways for a little bit for the championship day. And I mean, at least for me,
Fighting did well in that tournament, right? Yeah. Okay.
there's no ill feelings really. It's just like it's like a job. Like you do what you are supposed to do. You get up and you fight and you show your skill and your technique and whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's honorable to give them your best version of yourself.
Okay, that's good.
Like
that makes
in martial
sense,
arts, I feel like that's kind of like a if you're fighting someone, you give them your best, and they give you your best, and you see what happens.
I like that. That's pretty good. Yeah.
You see who ends up winning or dominating. And
I
I'm
like
sure
that.
in
Give
one
your
aspect
best,
or
yeah.
another, like she's stronger than me in her own strengths, and I'm stronger in other things. So we get to see how that goes together.
Sure. No, that's cool. And sharing the ring with her would be pretty awesome too.
Yeah, it was.
I bet. Yeah, she's so cool. I love her. Yeah, she came to watch the last UFC. I got wet naps there if you want to. Yeah, sorry. Just she came to watch the last UFC, and she's great. I love chatting with her.
Yeah, her story is definitely still inspires me. Like how hard she pushes. And
Yeah, right.
her
Like everybody
courage
always
and
tells me
fighting.
she's like the hardest worker, and and when I met her, I mean, she's so quiet and she's so sweet. It's really nice to see her. I'm happy to see her doing well. Yeah.
I mean, her and Jenny Huang definitely kind of like the pioneers for like
the
the women in
pioneers,
Taiwan.
right? Yeah, Jenny
So,
Huang too. I had Jenny Huang on here a while ago, and oh my gosh, she was so sweet too, and just super nice lady. And when I went to meet her, one of the marketing manager, my buddy was he's the manager of UFC Taiwan. And so he's like, yeah, I can introduce you to Jenny Huang. And then when I went to meet her, I was like so nervous. I was like, and she just finished like training, kind of like just chilling. And I was like, okay.
Have some more milk.
And when
Really
she came
feel it
over,
was jalapeno.
yeah, the jalapeno is a rough one, right? Yeah. So she came and she brought her bag with all like her 1FC plaques and stuff. So it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool interview. Yeah, it was fun. Definitely fun.
I dream of that, like one of those.
Those are so cool. I was just like, oh. And then, she was with her sparring coach, and I'm like, oh, one of these is for me, right? And they're just kind of like, and I'm like, okay, I'm just kidding. Take it easy. They were like smiling, but like kind of like, oh shit, what? It was so funny. Yeah, pretty awkward. Cheers.
Okay.
A little margarita up in here. Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna make the heat even worse.
It probably, but. So, what styles? If someone wanted to start MMA, what would you think would be a good place to start? Like, what styles do you recommend for MMA?
I think it depends on just what you like. Like for me, Bam was the one that introduced me to martial arts.
Yeah.
So when we first met, I think one of our is the second date that we had was at his MMA gym, and he was showing me how to punch.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
And in my mind, I was like, I've never been like I hardly knew what martial arts was. I never considered throwing a punch at anyone or anything.
And he's like, this is how you do it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like that kind of like drew me more to him because like he was so like fit and athletic,
yeah, he's super
and
fit.
so was I at that time because I was like, I mean, in college I was doing like maybe 4 hours a day of training, like basketball, and soccer and stuff. So
come on, you're still pretty fit. Yeah.
It's gone up and down in
sure.
the years I've been here, but definitely I've always been active.
That's great. Yeah.
But he introduced me to boxing first, so
so
that was my base to learn.
Boxing was your okay, wow. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So that you recommend to start with something like a boxing, or what are you thinking? Because how long have you been doing the BJJ and stuff like that?
If possible, probably at least like a striking and a ground.
Striking and a ground.
And for MMA, I feel like wrestling would be good to learn.
Wrestling is
as soon
probably
as
good,
possible.
right? Yeah.
That would definitely
wrestlers
be useful.
seem to be like all the way to the top. The wrestlers seem to be like
so definitely
Khabib, right? Like
in hindsight, maybe even wrestling first.
Yeah.
That would be a good one to start. I mean,
is there a lot of wrestling in Taiwan, in Taipei?
You have to know people. I actually recently asked on my Instagram. I was like, where can I go to learn wrestling?
I saw that. Yeah.
Dropped like a couple gyms, so I still have. I have yet to go check it out because the one that they recommended opens on Sundays. Okay. And my schedule kind of it was only open on the weekends, so it's kind of hard to get to.
So it's probably maybe low demand, you think? Or
like in all the martial arts gyms, I think like iFighting had a wrestling class, but it's in the evenings, and I teach in the evenings.
That's the thing with me. That's why I never started anything, because everything's always in the evenings. Yeah. And
so
I was
very hard to find actually a class that will fit your schedule here.
Yeah. Okay. But no, that's cool. Very cool. Very
Which
cool,
is why Tiger, like going to Thailand is really nice because they have classes all day long.
All day long, right? It looks really cool. I've seen a lot of videos, and it looks like a great place. And some of the top fighters are there, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Heard some stories from Bam about some of the fighters there. Yeah.
You walk around and see like a UFC fighter, and you're like, oh my word, I saw
like,
you on
wow.
TV.
It's like this guy. Wow. Yeah. Like Johnny Walker and stuff. He was telling me I hung out with Johnny Walker, and he hangs out with Khalil Roundtree, and that's pretty crazy.
I'm usually the photographer for those photos.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was like, wow, he was telling me about that, and I was just like, that's pretty crazy, man. It's very cool. Shout out to those guys, Khalil Roundtree. Yeah, for sure. So, what kind of a mindset do you need to get yourself into before you go into a fight? Like, do you have to be like, what's your, yeah, like, what's your...
I'm a Christian, so
okay.
For me, I have these three things I think about a lot. Like, am I like physically ready? Am I like spiritual? Like, for me, I kind of connect it to like a spiritual, like there's a spiritual aspect for me in it as well.
Yeah.
And so basically a spiritual, mental, physical are those things that I kind of want to line up and make sure they're all good.
Okay.
So like I have to kind of change my life a little bit when if I'm preparing for a fight, like my mindset changes, what I'm listening to, what I'm seeing completely changes. Like I have special playlists for them at this point.
Yeah, okay,
and
like fight camp playlist, all right.
Yeah, I do. So like if there's certain things I become a little bit more routine, like listening to that playlist.
Is it music or is it like motivational speaking?
Both.
And
I
stuff?
do on and off. Like I switch between those a lot, and then also I actually pray a lot more and read my Bible a lot more during like a fight camp.
During fight camp, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like when I feel like those three things are like lined up, then I feel like the most ready.
And you're like everything's in a row, mindset. Everything's good to go.
Yeah, and like I like to I try to push myself like mentally as much as possible. So like I remember like the Muay Thai competition the month before, I was like, I'm only gonna take cold showers the whole month.
Okay,
to,
I've heard
get
about
my mind
that.
Like ready.
I've heard about that. I mean, how is that?
So I mean, it's shocking.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I tried it and I was like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah, I did it after every practice.
Really?
And
I mean, so hot after a practice, right? Like,
that
I was
helps. Yeah.
Soaked.
But in
even
the
after
night,
shower, I was still hot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The nights are like in the morning, so I was actually very like I stuck to that, which I think helped me. And then I was in CrossFit a lot.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of different like strength and conditioning workouts, and those are hard. So I liked it because I felt like every day I was pushing, and like when I felt like I was gonna throw up or when everything was burning, like I liked that feeling. So I tried to get to that feeling like every day and try to push myself further.
Okay, that's great. I think that's kind of like the edge, and if you're pushing past that.
Yeah, so I feel like I have to do that.
1%
and if I
every day,
don't
right?
do that, I don't feel like.
I saw your post, the 1% every day, right? You get 1% every day better, right?
I feel like you have to do that, and then, I mean, I was even thinking like the higher up you go, like the more pressure there is, and But I think I'm kind of starting to find my like routine of like how I prepare for a fight.
Beautiful. Sounds great. Excellent. Let's grab the next one. You ready? Are you burned up? Are you good? Good to go?
Good now. I feel like we got recovered.
Okay.
Goodness, these are big.
Go. These ones are huge. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, what's this one?
This one it's made with a little bit of habanero. So the thing about this one is, I mean, everything is made with fresh chilies and fresh sauce. So sometimes they're really hot and sometimes it just kind of goes up and down. So it could be like super hot and it could be like so mellow. So we'll see. We got to try our luck, yeah?
Two more.
We're getting there. We're almost done. We're good. Doing great. CrossFit has really blown up, right? In the last 5 years, I would say. Yeah, and I've only been to one CrossFit gym in Taipei, and that's Hong Tai, which I love. I love going to Hong Tai. And there was one of the trainers, Chris, at Hong Tai really helped me prepare for my last fight. I mean, kind of like, there were some certain workouts that I did that I feel like kind of pushed me like to the edge I was looking for. Okay. So, what gave you the idea to go to CrossFit?
I think I was just looking for like a strength and conditioning program because when I was at Tiger, and when I watch like other fighters, they have that built in,
Yeah.
And I wanted to have I wanted to
Sure.
start building that
kind
too.
of building your own thing up. Okay.
Yeah, and you need that in a fight. Like if you don't have
Of course,
the
you
conditioning
gotta have
and
that
you
like
gas
extra
out.
gas tank. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I was gassing pretty hard in my BJJ class. I was like, man, and I go on gym and do some stuff, but it's like next level stuff. It's just, we did, I would say 20, 25 minutes of sparring, changing people, and I was just like, at the end, I was sparring with Antoine, and he's the sensei, right? He's the black belt. And he was basically toying with me, and then I'd kind of get out of something, and then I'd be like, hold on. Give me 30 seconds, and I'll be back. It was pretty rough. It was crazy. It was fun, though.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool experience.
Well, as a white belt.
As a white belt, you're going to get your ass beat all the time.
All the time. You're going to find yourself in all
funny.
the submissions, and you're just
Yeah.
how did I get here?
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I think I got this. And I was basically under Antoine. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. And he's like, that's not going to work because of this. And he was just so chill. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to wrap this. And he's just like, nope, that's not going to work because this. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Nothing. I'm totally trapped here. I got to try to do something. It was pretty fun. It was a good experience. I'm definitely going to go back. And I'm excited.
Addictive.
Yeah.
Once you start, you kind of keep going.
I'm actually disappointed that I didn't just go earlier, to be honest, because I've been loving UFC for so long, and Antoine's been doing it for a long time, and because it's an evening thing, I just said I can't go because it's an evening. But when we're there with my daughter, and my daughter loves it, so I was like, okay, let's do it. The funniest thing about the whole situation was my daughter just fully thought I would kick everyone's ass because I'm her dad, right?
Yeah.
And she's just
sweet.
she's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go in there. Because then when she's doing something small, I'll be like, oh, do this. And I got my ass beat pretty badly, and she was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. And she's like, oh, you hurt your rib. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, how dare he do that? I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's fun.
I love that.
But yeah, it's just like little girls, right? So it was good. I was like, hey, that's how you start, right? So
Yeah.
we were gonna all be white belts, right?
I think it's awesome when entire families do BJJ together.
That was the thing, I thought she likes it. I really wanted to stay. We've tried soccer. We've tried different things. She's okay with it. I coach soccer. I mean, I can one-on-one coach her soccer to, as far as she wants to go, but she's not that interested. But it was that, it was a soccer or UFC. So she loves UFC. And I was like, okay, well, if she likes this, I love it. So let's do it. So yeah, she's been doing it for, I would say, 3-4 months. And she just started with Antoine, and she's loving it. So
Yeah. Get mom in there too.
yeah, it's fun. I would totally love it. Yeah, the funny thing is, when you're that small, you're just you're never out of energy, and you're just kind of cartwheeling around, and it's just it's pretty crazy to see little kids just endless energy, and it's pretty cool.
I always wish I had started when I was young. I'm looking back, I'm like, oh,
For sure, right? For sure, and I think at one of the schools they're at on the first floor, it's a gymnastics school. How was that? A little spicier? It was less than the other one, I think. Right?
Yeah, it was.
It was less, right?
It's not too bad,
So it's
actually.
kind of it's crazy. But they have a gymnastics school, and it's a big trampoline.
Oh, I love gymnastics.
So they're just they're all crazy, sparring, and then at the end they're just okay, let's go to the trampoline, and it's just they all forgot about. There's no ill will or anything. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see kids do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's very cool. I enjoy it. I'm glad she likes it, because hopefully we'll do it. We'll do it for forever. And then talking to some of the guys, they're saying that within maybe the next 10 years, gi jiu-jitsu will probably be in the Olympics. So if she starts now, it'd be fantastic.
That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
that'd be super cool, right? So
Who
hopefully
knows? If she wants
we'll
it,
see.
she can do it.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, we know all the guys. We know all the people here that are the top guys. So it's pretty cool. It's very cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that the heat on my
The heat
lips.
yeah, we're
But
almost
it's not too
done.
bad.
The first, I think the jalapeno felt hotter this time.
It
yeah.
was. The
It was
jalapeno
definitely
for
hotter.
sure was hotter.
Really hotter. Okay. So I seen you recently doing social media, building up the social
Mm-hmm.
media presence. How do you feel that it helps sort of a fighter or an athlete overall?
I feel
yeah.
that aspect of it is really important now, because I think you have to be able to sell yourself as a fighter, and obviously it's a performance in a sense that people pay to watch
this man
you.
right here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Shout out to
might
Connor.
be anything like him.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm very good at trash talking.
Yeah.
But I think that you need to have that because you're almost like a sense like an artist. Like you got to be able to promote yourself and get people to come watch you at the fights. Be like
a little
exciting.
bit like salesy, right?
Yeah.
I think like Bam. Bam's very good at that. He's good, right? Yeah. He's so good at it.
Funny and
the gift of
crazy,
gab,
amazing
right? He's very
personality.
good. Yeah. So, how did you guys meet? I'm curious about that. Yeah. What brought that on? I'm so curious.
So
about
it's
that, yeah.
interesting because I went to Andrews University, which is in Michigan.
Okay.
And it's just like a small Christian college.
Okay.
And his family lived in the town.
Okay.
But
small town or?
Yeah, it was a pretty small town.
Okay.
And the 4 years I was there, I hadn't met him, even though we had a lot of the same
mutual friends.
Yeah,
Okay.
which was really interesting.
Okay.
And one of the weekends of my senior year, one of his best friends was also a good friend of mine, and we played on the soccer team together.
Okay, cool.
And she invited me to go to a friend's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And so him and I ended up being there at the same time. And he just happened to be back from Chicago because he was fighting at that time period.
Yeah.
But there was like a fire in his gym, and the whole gym had shut down. So he was training for a fight, but he came back home that weekend because he was sleeping in the gym at that
little
time.
destiny there. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was destiny. It was so strange that we hadn't met until that, like my last year in college.
Sure. Okay. Wow. Okay.
And so, yeah, we met, and like since that night we met, we were like inseparable.
Nice.
We were basically together every single day for 2 years straight.
And on his second date, he took you to teach you how to throw a punch.
Yeah, our first date was the next morning, and we woke up and we ran like 1.5 miles to go get breakfast. So I was like, oh, this is like the man for me.
That's perfect. Oh my gosh.
He ran 1.5 miles with me to breakfast.
Wow.
My
Wanna
crazy
run 1.5
idea.
miles for breakfast? All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like then we just continued hanging out that day, and we had a lot of mutual friends. And the ironic thing was he was actually there. He was going to visit my roommate, and I had no idea that she was meeting this guy from Chicago.
Okay.
And then she did end up going, and I went.
Okay, and you're like a little switcheroo. Okay, perfect. That's so funny.
So yeah, it's crazy.
I love that.
And I remember her telling me about this guy that she had been messaging all week. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like,
awesome.
he's a fighter and whatever. I never even thought about it until like I met him at that
night.
That's
so funny. Yeah. And you're like, you know that guy? Yeah. He's pretty awesome. So awesome that.
And she was my roommate at that time period.
How did that go? That's funny. I like that.
We're not friends anymore. We're not because of that.
I'm sure you're not. Yeah.
But I mean, I gained a husband, so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, not friends anymore, but you got. Yeah, he's been fighting for a long time then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was 15.
Okay. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Ready to rock the next one?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a small.
You take the little guy. All right. Okay. So this one is made with those, those little red Thai chilies, like what do they call it in English? Bird's eye chilies, I think. Yeah. Anyways, that's what this is made of. Yeah. Okay. So that's this. Yeah. Enjoy. Cheers.
Has there been anyone that hasn't gone through this yet?
There's a few. Definitely a few. Yeah.
Shout out to Steve because I'm gonna do this for. Show him I can get through them all.
Steve got all the way to the end. Didn't break a sweat. He was totally normal the whole time. He's like, whoa, okay, wow.
I still think the worst one was this one. That should be the hottest one.
Crazy, right? I mean, well,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, this doesn't feel like anything.
Good. Then we don't have to rest too long before we go to the last one. Because they're fermented a little bit. So you make them and you let them sit with a little bit of vinegar for a while. And then sometimes it's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's like this is not very spicy, this one. I don't think anyway. But I eat them every week, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I put cayenne pepper on everything I eat, so maybe that helps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like spicy foods.
Good. All right. So you brought quite a few people in to watch Bam's fights. at the shop. How does it differ for you're getting ready for your own fight as compared to Bam getting ready for his fight? How does that
I think we both agree that it's worse when the other person fights.
Okay.
Like, I'm so much more nervous for when he fights than I am for my own fights,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Like, I'm really nervous. Like, I feel the nerves, but, like, there's also calmness because I feel like I've prepared myself. And, like, I know it's kind of strange, but before my fights,
Yep.
I'm always praying. I'm like,
Sure.
I swear, the last 2 fights that I won,
Okay.
like, I feel like I heard, like, you're gonna win. I don't know if that's my mind, like, playing
Okay.
it, but I just felt like I always feel this peace and, like, this, like, really calm
Sure.
feeling
Well,
before I go.
Dad's gonna love that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like, to
Sounds
me, like,
good.
I feel like there's nerves and everything, but, like, when he fights, I can't contain it. Like, I feel like I'm all over the place and just
I know. I remember.
freaking out.
I noticed.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when it's somebody you know or somebody that you really like, it's. I mean, it's not going to be the same as married to somebody, but it's also like it's pretty crazy. I can understand it. Yeah. So what can you do? I mean, for yourself, you can control it. Your nerves for your own fight. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if Bam's fighting, what do? You just kind of wait it out.
Yeah,
it's got to be
I
tough.
think that's just all you can do.
Yeah, it's got to be tough, right? How about if you're watching them on TV as opposed to live?
I've actually never been.
Never been live? Okay.
No, that's the first month we were dating. That fight,
Yeah.
I went to my first MMA fight, and that
Okay.
was the one in Chicago.
Really?
And that was already hard, and I only knew a month.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah, sure.
And he had a concussion that night.
Oof.
And I was taking care of him because we were staying at a friend's house in Chicago, and I had no idea about concussions, and like you're supposed to keep him awake, and I was
Oh, really? Like, just take a nap, man. You'll be great.
like, I really had no idea what
Of
I was
course.
doing.
Who would know? Who would know that? Yeah.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah.
All his friends were like, "Oh yeah, he needs to stay awake all night. Just keep him awake." And I was like, "Okay," like put
Okay.
ice on his injuries and things.
Okay.
So that was like my first introduction to like,
And then you were thinking, geez, what am I getting
yeah. And I
myself
was like, "There's
into?
no way I'm ever doing this." I actually never thought I would do it until even like almost 2 years ago when I did
Okay.
my first like amateur
Okay.
fight. I was like, "There's no way I could get into a cage."
Okay.
And even then, I was thinking only this, like only like the
Only
little
this time. I'm gonna-
the
one and
in-house
done.
competition, like you put on the shin pads, like everything.
Okay.
And after that, I was like, I'm done. Like,
Okay.
I think I would just do this.
Yep.
But I think my competitive nature took over, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, what else can
I
I do?
won. Let's keep going. No, let's keep going. I lost. No, let's keep going. I won. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's a journey, and I like the aspect of the martial arts of like bettering yourself.
I think it's
every
really
day.
cool. Yeah, I think it should be like a mandatory thing for kids. I think it's such a cool thing because, again, we were saying most of the fighters that I met, they're such good people. Like the fighters, they're just like they're humble, and everyone's just like everybody's been like the king. Everybody's been like humbled by and it's just like it's a pretty cool thing. I think it's
important.
I think
for
it's really
life.
good for
you
life.
You need to know
yeah.
how to lose, and you need to like if you have like. Especially something like that you really want and you don't get necessarily, or you like have that loss.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
what are you gonna do? What kind of person
sure.
are you gonna become
For
after
sure.
that?
I mean, you can't get everything you want in life.
No,
first
and
of
then
all, yeah.
you learn how to like deal with it and get better, and then
Yeah.
use it as fuel to be even better.
Agree.
For the future.
I agree. I love it. So that last one was not so spicy. Should we go for the?
What's this one?
This one is very spicy for sure.
Okay.
It's for sure going to be spicier than the
Have
jalapeno.
this. Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't even touched the horchata.
You haven't touched your horchata. All right.
Horchata
all
is
right.
like my favorite.
All right. Well, enjoy. Have a little swig of horchata.
Thank you, Texas.
Yeah. Shout out to Texas and horchata. Shout out to all the Mexicans that brought
Right.
horchata to Texas. Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I had so many Latin friends growing up, and
Yeah?
one of my good friends, her mom would always make pupusas,
Oh yeah. Nice.
and they used to sell them near our school. And,
Oh, I love
and
pupusas,
burritos and
yeah.
everything, and like
Yeah.
oh, if I could get a pupusa here, it would be amazing.
Pupusas. Okay, somebody's
Anyone
doing
out there?
pupusas. Somebody's doing pupusas. I can't think right now, but give me a minute. And I will. Yeah. What's her name? Arepas. We got arepas.
Maybe I eat that for my birthday.
Yeah, pupusas. Yeah, somebody's doing them. I'll find some food. Can we do one more horchata? Thank you.
It's not too bad. It's more of an after thing, I feel like.
The after kicks in a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you don't taste it in your mouth as
Yeah,
much, but
that's a
it's like
weird one, yeah.
you feel it in your head.
I mean, this one is like not for
It's
super duper
discreet.
flavor. I mean, it's okay, but it's for like. I made this one. You want to know why this one came out? It was because when Steven was on here, Steven Chow, Caillou's striking coach, I didn't have this one, and he got all the way to the end, no problem. And I was like, oh my, I need one. I need one, like someone, you know, just one that's going to be a beast at the end, just in case. So, ooh, yeah, that one's getting me. I don't know how you're doing, but ouch, yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
So what is the Maria Morris plan for the next 5 years? Hopefully, I mean, if COVID goes away, right? I mean, it's probably not going to go away, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Eventually, it will, you know, we'll be able to travel again.
Mm-hmm. That is spicy. Woo.
And take your time on that one, yeah. Most people don't finish that one, but you can if you want.
I'm gonna finish it.
All right, do it, yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Thank you.
Milk is supposed to help, right?
Yes, it is. A little bit. So what's the plan for you if things all go well in the next, let's say 3 years?
Definitely be in Thailand a lot, training. Hopefully become a professional within a year. Whew, I feel like I'm sweating.
Yeah, for sure. The last one's rough, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, this is no joke. You guys should try this. Training, become a pro, and I mean, I would love to fight in one championship. That would be
Okay, beauty.
kind of
Okay.
like a dream goal right now.
Okay, sure, yeah. Okay. So getting into that would be good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's the process for that? Like, what was the process for BAM to get into one? Like, to do the one FC sort of? What's the
We'll
process?
probably start in the One Warrior series, where he's in right now, and we'll definitely have to become pro first. So
Sure, of course, yeah.
gotta
okay,
do
okay,
that.
okay, yeah.
I actually would like to try Muay Thai fights in Thailand too.
Yeah, that's the place to do it, right?
Mm-hmm. I feel like that would give me some more.
We went to Thailand. I've been to Thailand twice.
The idea scares me, which is actually why I want to try it.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think
And the
that's
reason
great.
why I keep going back to do these like things too, because
It's a rough
I
one,
like
too.
I had it like about a year and a half ago. I told myself I was gonna start doing all the things that scare me. So kind of trying to live by that. Like if I feel like in a good things, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But that idea, I'm like a Muay Thai fight, an authentic Muay Thai fight.
I mean, when I went to Thailand, I was saying twice. Once I went with a buddy for a visa run. This was way back when I was doing a visa run. And then another
Visa
time
runs.
I brought my, it was so long ago. And I did, I actually proposed to my wife on the beach in Pattaya. So it was the second
wow.
time I went. And we actually went to like the same area, but it was such a different experience if you're there with like two dudes or if you're there with like your wife or fiance, whatever. So it was crazy how one place can be so different. And so, yeah, Thailand was fantastic. I love it. I do want to go back there. Eventually, I would love to go to Tiger Muay Thai and check you guys out,
Yeah.
see what you guys are doing. It'd be fantastic.
It's
yeah.
an amazing place.
So
Cannot wait to like go back.
Yeah, so hopefully in the next little bit you'll be able to get out there. Yeah, that's a
put me
rough
to
one.
tears.
Yeah,
I know.
that's a rough one for sure.
What is on this exactly?
It's like a Trinidad scorpion. It's like the hottest chili. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty.
Well, I feel like I'm proud for surviving this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the killer at the end. And like I said, most people don't finish it, so don't feel the pressure. You know. Yeah.
It's like the more you say that, I'm like, I gotta
And
finish
you're like,
it.
I gotta do it. It's because I'm trying to trigger that competitive nature in there.
I know. I feel like probably all the fighters feel like, oh, I gotta do this.
For sure. Hey, one of the reasons I I started to do this was because I think there's a lot of fighters doing really cool things, and there's not so many platforms for them to just come out and chat and, you know, not just be talking about fights, just chatting, you know, have a beer or have a margarita or have some water, whatever, and just chat, have a conversation. It's like a bit of a platform for people to do cool stuff. Yeah, that's why I started this, and it's getting there. I mean, so far so good.
It's got to take it down.
Oh my God, you're going for it.
Go big or go home, man.
Nice. I was gonna say, what kind of the last question would be? What kind of advice would you give to somebody who wants to make the jump from they're doing their 9 to 5 and they're like, I want to go shoot for the stars, or somebody that wants to do, you know, MMA, martial arts, something like that for the first time? What kind of advice do you want to give them? Would you like to give them? Yeah.
I would say just do it.
Just go for it. Okay.
Go for it. Like, life is too short. You could wake up the next day and
Or
realize, like, I didn't take the
Yeah.
You may not wake up the next day. Who knows? And at least in times like this, I hope, like, it shows you the world changes so fast. If you don't take advantage of something, it could be gone the next day.
Agree. Okay.
So just do it.
So
whatever you want to do, just go for it.
From Maria Morris, just go for it. You might not wake up the next day. World changes very fast. Yeah?
Yep. And who knows? It might not be exactly what you envision, but it could be even better.
Yeah, could be.
Which is what I don't know where I'll end up, but hopefully I know it won't give up, so.
Yeah, well, I can't believe that cauliflower wing that you took is massive, and you're going for it. Can we get one more milk? Yeah.
Just gonna finish it, the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, you're a beast. I love it. So, you finished it. You made it. Congratulations on everything. I can't wait to see you fighting in Thailand. And if there's any fights going on in town here, let me know, because I would love to come and watch. Yeah. I think there's some, I read today that there's some no-gi tournament or something, exhibition or something coming up very soon. So I'll check that out. Yeah. But
I think I want to sign up for the Bears Den one.
Okay.
It's August 22nd.
So how do you know if you're going to fight in the next WOTD?
I think Kemp will let the fighters know.
Okay.
I believe that the sign up ends July 30th, I believe.
Okay.
So then they'll start looking at who signed up.
Sounds good.
But yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for coming. I know you're super busy. Thank you so much for coming. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Ooh. Shout out to Bam, Tiger Muay Thai. Everybody, all the gyms that you're with. Yes, it's very spicy. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.